Within the Transformers universe, there are many characters. Some are very significant, while others may only have brief appearances. This could lead to many a discussion of what happens to obscure characters after they're introduced. The Autobot warehouse worker, Dion, is one such character. But before we go into detail about him, we must dive into the origin of the most famous Autobot of them all, Optimus Prime.
One shall stand, one shall fall.
Consider supporting the channel on Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, you can help us bring you more content like this. Our first look at Prime's origin comes in the episode The Search for Alpha Trion. This is also the first episode in which the concept of female Transformers is introduced, which is a discussion for another day. Optimus Prime comes to the rescue of his girlfriend, Elita 1, but is captured by the Decepticons. To save him from being melted down,
"Please, let him go." "Very well, my dear. Let him go."
Elita 1 uses a special power that freezes time, but it drains her of her life force.
"Take me to Alpha Trion. He's the only one who can save me."
We shall find him.
Optimus then brings her to Alpha Trion, the oldest and wisest Autobot, to repair her.
I'll see what I can do, Prime, but it doesn't look good.
Alpha Trion's knowledge of their inner workings allows Optimus Prime to save Elita 1's life.
Now, it's your turn to help her. But what can I do? Disengage your power filter?
In doing so, he learns that it was Alpha Trion who had created both Optimus Prime and Elita 1.
But how would you know Alpha Trion? Only my creator could know that. An educated guess, Prime. Please, Elita. Reactivate.
The story of Optimus Prime's origin was further detailed in the episode War Dawn.
All right, spill it before I go crazy.
Well, it all began about 9 million years ago.
Oh, great. It's gonna be one of those long stories.
In this episode, the Aerialbots, the new Autobot jet team that could also combine into Euphorium, are skeptical of the Autobot ideology and wonder if the Decepticons are truly evil.
I want to know why Optimus Prime thinks you're evil.
Don't you see it's some kind of a trap?
They are led into a trap by the Decepticons, which sends them back in time to the golden age of Cybertron, 9 million years ago. There they meet Orion Pax, his girlfriend Ariel, and his best friend Dion.
I've seen you guys around before. I'm Orion Pax. And that's Dion. He's my best friend.
Suckering more people into doing your work for you, Orion?
Very funny. And this is Ariel. Keep away from her. She's my girlfriend.
They too have heard of the Decepticons, and they think it's cool that they have the ability to fly.
Orion, just because they have an unusual ability doesn't necessarily make them someone you'd want to know.
Go get your circuits checked, chum. Those guys are the greatest.
As naive as they are, all is well until Megatron comes to the docks and introduces himself. Orion Pax shows him around until Megatron learns that Energon is stored there.
Oh, we only store energy here.
That's just what I wanted to hear. Decepticons, attack!
Ariel, Dion, and Orion Pax all fall to the Decepticon attack. The Aerialbots come to the aftermath.
Orion, speak to me.
That Megatron, I'll pay him back for this if it's the last thing I do.
And take the dying Orion Pax to a young Alpha Trion, who rebuilds him.
You may not recognize him. He is no longer Orion Pax. Now he is the first of our new defenders, Optimus Prime.
Alpha Trion then states that he will send droids to retrieve the others as well. Now, David Wise, who wrote the episode, has stated that he originally intended for both Ariel and Dion to die to add real weight to the whole ordeal. However, the showrunners must have realized the similarities between Ariel and Elita 1. As such, they added the line for Ariel to become her.
A female warrior. I'll call her Elita 1.
Optimus Prime would then meet Megatron, and thus began their years of rivalry.
You've caused enough destruction for one day, Megatron. I haven't even started. You? Who are you? Your worst nightmare.
Of course, many wondered where the Matrix of Leadership fit into all this. Revealed in the episode 5 Faces of Darkness Part 4, Megatron started the war killing the Autobot commander, whom we now refer to as Sentinel Prime, and the Matrix was passed to Alpha Trion.
We kept it safely hidden for many years, until the next Autobot leader appeared, a gentle robot known as Orion Pax, who was fated to become Optimus Prime.
There may be more to the story of the Matrix of Leadership, but that of course is a discussion for another day. One of the biggest questions that fans speculated with this origin story was, who did Dion become? While Ariel was rebuilt into Elita 1,
Don't listen to him. He's just a jealous type.
Dion was Optimus Prime's best friend. As such, it would make sense if he was rebuilt as well. Could he be Ironhide, Jazz, or perhaps someone else? The most likely candidate is a character who was introduced in the 1986 movie, Ultra Magnus. Spoiler alert if you've never seen it, and if you haven't, you need to. Optimus Prime dies.
Prime, you can't die.
And on his deathbed, he passes the Matrix of Leadership to Ultra Magnus, and calls him Old Friend.
Ultra Magnus, it is to you, old friend, I shall pass the Matrix of Leadership, as it was passed to me.
This opened up the debate on whether or not Ultra Magnus was in fact Dion. Years later, Fun Publications released their bi-monthly magazine as part of the official fan club. Within the magazine was a comic book to promote the toys that were being sold through the Collectors Club. One of those toys was Dion, a repaint of Classic's Hotshot. This was the second toy released as the character, as an eHobby exclusive was released as a repaint of Wheelie and came with Orion Pax, a repaint of Cup. According to the comic, Dion survived the assault from Megatron and was rebuilt. He joined the Autobot Elite Guard, which included Cup, Metal Hawk, Sentinel Major, and an Autobot named Magnum, who looks very similar to Ultra Magnus. This also served as an introduction to combiner technology with the Combaticons, but that of course is a discussion for another day. At the end of the story, the two of them were fatally wounded by Megatron. Alpha Trion states that he could only save one of them to Optimus Prime. Later, Ultra Magnus introduced himself to Optimus Prime as a rebuilt version of either Dion or Magnum. This threw an even bigger wrench into continuity. Now it wasn't who was Dion rebuilt into, but which one of them became Ultra Magnus. Also, sometimes fan speculation could lead to a lot of confusion with this. Since he is light blue and orange, some think he was the Autobot commander Sentinel Prime. However, Sentinel Prime was leader of the Autobots until Megatron killed him. He would then kill Orion Pax and his friends. Some also speculate that Dion was rebuilt as Cup, Jazz, or Ironhide. Cup fought alongside Dion as part of the Elite Guard, while Ironhide and Jazz were present in the battle against Devastator with Magnum and Dion. Another name that pops up from time to time is Huffer, since he is orange as well, but he is seen loading the Ark in the comic. With all this speculation, you'd have to wonder what the official answer is from Hasbro, if there is one. Hasbro at one point had an official online Q&A known as Ask Vector Prime. In July 2010, they were asked what was the fate of Dion. Their response may have finally answered this debated question. In the original animated series, Orion Pax was best friends with Dion, who subsequently dies at the hands of Megatron. In our mind, Dion died during the war for Cybertron. Dion was never rebuilt into any other character. With the way the comic was presented, I believe that Dion did in fact die. However, I think he was used for parts along with Magnum to give life to Ultra Magnus.
We meet again. Why do you not flee? Did our last encounter teach you nothing? Not cowardice, certainly.
But what do you think? Was Dion rebuilt as Ultra Magnus? Or was it Magnum? Or is Ultra Magnus a combination of them both? Leave your thoughts in the comment section below. And if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. I want to thank my patrons for all your support. My next episode will be a retrospective of the character known as Ultra Magnus, so stay tuned for that. And as always, until next time, till all are one.
Last big party of the summer, folks. Let's go out with a bang.
Just once. Couldn't your attitude reflect the gravity of the situation?
Not if I can help it.